Hello, I am Jack, and welcome to FRCA's Simply Inspired. This is where we tell you who inspires us. So sit back, relax, and enjoy. Hello, guys, and welcome to Simply Inspired. I'm Jack.
And I'm Dan.
And today we're bringing you Dan's version of Simply Inspired. So I'll kick it straight off to the bat and ask you, Dan, what inspires you?
As a drummer.
Well, yeah, as a drummer.
Because I don't play guitar. I wish.
Oh, I do too.
Yeah.
You know, I can't even play a drum.
Yeah, it's who inspires me as a drummer is a guy called David Whitworth.
Right.
That is from a massive church in America called Bethel Church. And since I started playing, I just fell in love with how he plays and how he teaches.
Wow. So not only are you being inspired by an artist, you've been inspired by God. In that sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. So what got you into drumming? What made you pick up the drumsticks and just give it a go?
So since I was, I think, little, I always liked to play.
Well, you can't go saying little, Dan. Like, how young you talking? I want facts. I'm winding you up.
9, 10, I think.
Okay, that's not little. That's
Maybe younger, actually. But I think, so my mum got me a kit when I was younger. I can't remember at what age. And I started playing cajon at Freedom Road.
Yeah, I remember.
However long ago. And then the more I played, the more I just kind of fell in love with percussion.
And like the rhythm and that.
And like that kind of stuff. And then basically I got my mum to ask her friend who plays drums. He gave me, I think, 1, 2, maybe 3 lessons at the push. I can't remember. And then just from there, I just basically just learned and picked it up for myself.
Wow, so you've taught yourself as well. That's great. So do you use YouTube or is it just self-taught, like, oh, that works, that doesn't?
So I think, I can't even remember properly how long I've been playing, but I think I've been playing about 3 years now.
Wow.
Maybe longer. And
so as long as, well, that's a long time, you know what I mean? Yeah.
And from the start, I just learned from, like, the old, like, Christian albums that was out, like...
I love how it's all Christian based as well, yeah.
I class myself as a worship drummer. That's what, like, in that generation of, like, music and people. And so the stuff I, like, listened to was, like, an album called 10,000 Reasons that was by, I think, a guy called Matt Redman,
right.
Who's a worship leader. And just the songs on there was, like, stuff that I played to, that was out then, in, like, churches and stuff. But lately, I started getting lessons in lockdown with a guy called John,
right.
who's a great guy. I sadly had to stop doing lessons with him because of everything's now coming back a bit more back to normal.
Yeah, well, we hope. Yeah.
We hope. But there was a drummer that I was really that I really liked, and he actually plays with my inspiration that we'll talk about in a second of my music. And I joined his academy a couple of months ago.
Wow.
I'm really behind on doing the lessons, so we won't tell him that.
Don't watch.
And he's just been a massive inspiration that's just pushed me to play how I play now.
Wow. So, Dan, the second question that I'm about to ask you is, what got you into Freedom Road then? So who introduced you to Freedom Road? How did you get involved with this charity?
So, So basically it was in 2010.
2010.
Maybe
wow.
12, I can't remember. It was a long time ago.
I think it was 2012 because you came around the same time as like First Rock
Challenge.
Yeah, 2012 then, yeah.
And basically I struggled in mainstream settings and anything like that.
You won't tell now though.
No. I've just matured, and I think Freedom Road's been
really
a massive help with that. So thank you, Ian. That's Ian Thompson, not Ian Bolton. I'm joking, Ian.
Keep that in.
yeah. And yeah, so basically because I've got learning difficulties, dyslexia, and I've got something called fetal alcohol syndrome.
So, for the viewers at home that don't know that, do you know like a brief description of what that sort of is?
Yeah. So basically, to let you all know that I'm adopted, and I'm open about that because that's like who I am.
Yeah.
And basically, fetal alcohol syndrome is where your mum obviously takes drugs. I think it's drugs, and I think it's just alcohol, not drugs.
It could be both. I don't know myself.
I don't know it properly. I just know like the things around it.
Yeah.
And basically, when they're having the baby, they take that, and it just gives like problems to the brain and other things. It's really common. Search it on Google. A lot of people do have it, and sometimes it's not noticeable, and sometimes it's massively noticeable.
Yeah, and it's a case of how that person deals with it. And for you, Dan, you've come on leaps and bounds. I'm not going to go too personal, but having conversations with your mum, it's basically how your mum kind of describes it is, she was worried about you. She was worried you might have like ended up getting in trouble with the police, vice versa, you know, violence, all that lot. And she said like you've just come on leaps and bounds and become this young man that she just adores. And I've got to say, Dan, I've got a lot of respect for you. You've come on leaps and bounds, and it's so good to see such a developing young person like you.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh, sorry. Last but not least, Dan. We're coming to the part of the show where I asked you what music inspires you before you go ahead and play your live section on the show.
Yeah.
So, are you excited about it?
I am excited.
Are you going to pick up your sticks and dum-dum-dum-dum?
I am. Do you know what? I'm going to be truthful to you all.
Yeah.
So, so we did record it before we started this.
You're not supposed to tell them that, but
I know, because obviously we've got to have a
mind.
whole change of a drum kit, because we can't just like magically place it there.
we could just,
And obviously, me being me, I just sit down and just go to play the song, and it did take me 4 times.
4 times.
But you know what? I did it, and it came out pretty decent.
What song do you play?
What song did I play?
Yeah, what song are you gonna play?
What am I gonna play?
What song are you gonna play? But I've played.
I have played, yeah. So the song I'm gonna play is called "This Is Amazing Grace." So it's originally written.
It was Amazing Grace, because we're talking.
Yeah,
past
it was.
tense now.
It was originally written by someone called Phil Wickham, but the version I'm doing is by Jeremy Riddle. I had to think then, who is my inspiration in music.
Right.
Do you want me to quickly talk about my inspiration?
Why not? So Dan, who is your inspiration?
So my inspiration is obviously Jeremy Riddle, and I think since I started playing, he was a big person I watched as well, because...
Is he a YouTuber or a...
So Jeremy Riddle is a very big like worship leader in the worship music area, and David Whitworth, who is my drumming inspiration.
There's a lot of whips and waps.
There is, yeah.
That's if there's all in a room together. Can we have David Whitworth and did that and let me like, what the hell?
Yeah, and basically, when I started watching like videos with David Whitworth in it, had Jeremy Riddle in, and it just came from how he's written his music and what the lyrics are, and like there's this build bit here, but then there's another build that does something else. It really spoke to me.
Right.
And made me the musician I am today.
Wow, that's words from Dan, guys. So this has been episode 3 of Simply Inspired. So if you like what you see, then hit that like button and give us a subscribe, because we'll be bringing out content nearly every week, won't we?
Yeah, and
without fail.
Yeah, and don't forget to follow us on Instagram, and especially Facebook. We need to build them followers.
Exactly, because how many followers do we have now? Like 2?
On Instagram we've got like I think 37, but please follow, because then if something happens where we can't bring a video out, we can update you on there.
And also hit that little bell button so you can be notified when we upload. Yeah, I've been Jack.
And I've been Dan.
leaves us breathless in awe and wonder, the King of glory, this King above all kings, Jesus, and this is amazing grace.